Hey, Grumpy, how you doing, man? Just give me 1 second. My phone that I'm supposed to read chat on today is being stupid. Hey, there we go. Stupid. Oh, no, it's not being stupid. All right, today I am going to work on a little knife project, and if time permits, get this guy finished up. I started the handle, and I'm using actually part of this block as my spacer here, which should look pretty cool. Hey, Bear, how you doing, man? And then we're going to try, I don't know if y'all can see, you can see it a little bit. We're going to try and grind that profile out. See if we can't do something with this. This is I started this profile on another blade last year sometime, piece of sandmai that I made, and my heat treat was bad. And but this was before I had my kiln. So I was just heat treating straight out of the forge and then quenching, and I didn't get it right, and I just snapped the tang right off of it. So we are going to try again today. We're going to grind this down. I'm not going to make y'all wait on my heat treat because that's like 3 hours in the oven and or in the kiln, and that just takes ridiculously long for no reason. So let's get moved over to the grinder. And I don't know if I'm going to have to take the wheel grinder to this and cut some of this out, or if I'm just going to throw it on there. We'll see how much noise it's making. So let's go. Get y'all set up where y'all can see. Get my face shield on, because if you've ever had a splinter in your eye, metal slivers doubly suck. It is, thank you. Thank you, Becky.
Hey, Roger, welcome in. Just to keep it cool. And it's just well water. Yes, something pretty much. You can harden the steel if you overwork it to a high enough temperature, and then it becomes very difficult to grind. So by keeping it cool between passes, you can work it without having to worry about it pre-hardening on you. Because if you steam harden it. Then to get a heat on it, at the end you have to anneal it first, which goes from 3 or 4 hours in the kiln to 5 or 6 hours in the kiln. Now it's spicy. Now you can't really see it, but when I'm walking it across this way or the other way, I get to see a little line heating up as the water evaporates. So it lets me know where the temperature's at. And if it starts to turn brown, then I know I've lingered too long, because I know that now the steel itself is starting to temper, and that's a bad thing. So generally that happens. You'll see me move my fingers away because it got too hot. Okay, just welcome in. I don't know if you can see right there at the end, it's a little bit straw colored. You have to start being very careful with the tip as you get the distal taper, which is just basically thicker here than it is here, and then thicker here than it is here. So it kind of tapers down to a thin point. But as that tip gets thinner, it heats up much quicker, and you can actually end up burning all the carbon out of the steel. welcome in. So the cross hatching you saw me doing earlier, if you look, see how those lines are straight? I haven't worked that side yet, but if you look here, you can still see some diagonals. So now that I'm going back, once I get all of these going this way again, I'll know that I've got everything straight and I've got a level surface from here to here, even though it tapers. Processes. kitchen knife. Thanks, Steven. Thanks for popping in today. He's not joking, Candace. You collect John like I collect hobbies. Let's take this back to the bench and have a look at it real quick. See where we're at. Grab chatty phone. Grab my video phone. Get the heck out of this stupid mask. Oops. Sorry for the jitters, guys. Over there so I can read. Doing this. Another shoes in here is good. All right. I like the shade. How close did we get to the other one? That's pretty good. Went longer on this one. I think that'll be nice. So, all right, I'm gonna have to grind the handle down a little bit more. Looks like a good plug. I'm gonna come, let's see. I want it to be up this way. So I need to grind this bottom half down. So, all right. I'm not gonna bring the chat, just gonna bring y'all. Put the floor back on. Thank you, Candace.
All right, so now if any of y'all are wondering why I have a rectangular plug in a round hole, we will step over to the lathe in just a second and I will show you why. So before we get to shaping the handle out, we're going to take a piece of oak and cut a dowel to fit in here. And we're going to cut a slice out of the middle of the dowel to hold the blade in place, or the tang in place. And then it'll pressure fit, capture itself, and hang out. So that's what we're going to do next. So let me turn you guys over this way because I went ahead and prepared. And I've got the piece already on the lathe. Put you up here where I can read. Hey Ryan, how you doing, man? push too hard. That's all right. Get too aggressive right at the end. Like, come on, I'm almost there. Hey, Michael. I think I'm gonna run this on sandpaper the rest of the way down. I'm getting way too close. We'll take another pass. Still a little bit too thick. should slide all the way on there. Let's see. Oop, a little bit tight at the end. Sand that type a little bit more. Zoink. There we go. Perfect. Love it when plan comes together. All right. Excuse me. So this going, I can't see y'all. Now that's going to go in like that. And then this side. Where's my little vise? Because I don't want to cut my hand open live on keys. Not that I really mind. Zan will panic and oh, let me do this first. So what we do is all but the last maybe quarter inch or so, maybe an eighth. Let's put pencil. I mean, really, you don't need anything at the base, but I want about that much of the blade sticking out. So if I go, where's my mark? There we go. So if I go to about right there, because this is cut to the length of the bore. So if I stop the blade about right there, I'll get about that 1/8 inch relief sticking out of the handle. And I might even go a little bit less. We'll see. And then I'll clean these shoulders up with the file after the heat or before the heat treat. What is the tool next to the knife? This? Just a handsaw. It's a Japanese pull saw. So it cuts on the pull stroke instead of the push stroke. Supposed to be a flush cut saw, but I use it for like everything. Don't need that. I need this and this. And then you guys can come over here and watch me screw it up. Because we're going to cut it right there. I think. And I don't need to cut the whole thing. I just need to get it enough, started enough that I can work it out with the chisel. Come on. Actually, what I might do is I might run my larger saw down this in a minute. Oh, there we go. That's what I didn't want to do. God, I hate bifocals. Well, not bifocals. Progressive lenses, I hate. Trying to look down both sides of the blade to stay even. I'm getting off center. So might be able to bring it back somewhere. I think I might just end up parting this, giving it a little sand, and then wedging it down in there independently. Let's try that. Okay. All right. gonna do the sketchy stuff off camera. I'll be right back with you. I can just pretend that I've still got it in the vise and I'm still being nice and safe. I'm not over here tearing up my hands. Hey, baby kisses. How's your day going, dear? I hope it is well. Oh, come on. That's what I'm at. Jeez. That's a bit cold. There. Yay. All right, now I'll take you over here. Maybe. I don't know how I'm going to do this next part, but we're going to figure something out. First, some coffee. All right. So what we need is we need these to fit down in there to wedge the blades. So what we're going to try and do is trim them up a little bit. The oak is hard. So I'm going to need and I broke it. Great. It's all right. That might actually be a blessing. Mm-hmm. Look at that. No mistakes, only half the accidents. Dang it, man. Bob was right again. Can we three-peat that? Because I already hawked up one. Y'all just didn't see it, so. Maybe this one's going to work. Huh. That's not good. Well, it might be the right size. Let me get it. Bench dog. Try that from the other side. There we go. All right, that's a little bit thick, but if I run those on the sander some, they'll fit down in there perfect. And I think I'll use this one instead of this one. right, I'll be right back. I'm not gonna bring you over here for this one. Just gonna be sick. Back over there. However, just a second. Let me start doing the handle. Yep, that's going to do it. All right. So now let's get so I want to 45 these corners, and then I need to taper back to here on all four sides, and then we're going to chamfer all of these edges and then give it a slight taper to the back. So let's go make some sawdust.
Hey, welcome.
Oh, that's going to leave a bruise. Horn of that anvil. Catch you every time if you're not paying attention. All right. Now this will still have to get a lot of sanding done to it because now we have to change the sand marks orientation to running down the blade. And that'll all happen before heat treat. I'm not going to make y'all sit and watch me sand. But what we are going to look at today before we go is, I think this is going to be the top side. Oops, there's these pieces. I think I'm going to take that nip off that back right there. It's relatively straight. Nope, it's not. I don't know if that's the wedge or if the blade is actually bent, but I'll get all that straightened out before we go to heat treat. Oh, it's just the wedge. Okay. Easy enough to fix. But yeah, So, like I said, I'll profile this down just a little bit to kind of arc it up, just so it doesn't sit so proud there. Probably take this up a little bit too and closer. I went in a little bit too close here. What I was chasing was when I put this piece in, it's a piece like this, so it's got a little cross pattern in it. And I wanted those to come out on the diagonals. And I got it on 3 of them. And I was a little bit off on the last one. But that's what I was chasing when I was bending this down some, was trying to get that to hit those right. But, oh well. For my own personal kitchen knife, it'll be fine. Balances, does it? Nope. Oh, it doesn't have the, oh, I might have taken too much weight off of the front. I might have to take a little bit off the back here, because it should balance right there, but it doesn't. So, yep, that's my bad. Not bad for an hour and a half or whatever I've been on. So, how long have I been on? Do I have time to do that? Thank you, Secret. Hour and 29. Okay. Yeah, I guess I can do together. So we are going to work on this lighter shell from Mr. West. So I'm going to stick y'all back over here. I see Miss June come in. How do I want to block this up? I guess I'll bore it out first. So for any of these glue ups, I tape them up first. It's not like it's going to hold it together, but if the resin heats up and tries to release a little bit, it can't just fly apart of its own volition. It's going to have to break through the tape. And I've had it saved me a couple of times. So, and it seems like every time I forget to do it is when one of them blows up on me. So, we'll not do that today. Back up here. All right.
This tailstock is horrible. It's the only thing that's not good on this machine. Everything else is solid. Where is... Oh, there it is. Get out of there. Jeez. Please. I like chocolate shavings. It's pretty.
Yay. Did not break. Fits good. Nice. All right. Give me 2 shakes here to get this changed out. I need the mandrel. And I'm going to find my pushing real quick. I'm going to let this cool off for another second before I start it back up. I guess I should put the mandrel saver on, huh? Any turners out there know if they make a universal headstock or tailstock unit, rather? Pretty sure they're all specific to the machine you have. And I really don't want to buy another one just for the new tailstock. Now, if Laguna or Grizzly happen to be listening, haha. All right. That's all set up. Now, let's get y'all zoomed in just a touch so that when it goes catastrophically wrong, everybody's got a good view. I say that and the viewership went up. That's hysterical. All right. I am going to grab a sip of coffee. Let that cool for just another minute because that block is still pretty warm. Hey, Mr. Wes. You missed the sketchy part when I bored it out. Yeah, my chuck is a win, and I really like it. Super solid. All right, let's make some chips. Oh, that looks pretty. Y'all can actually see the pattern when it's spinning. Cool, cool. Yes, if you don't follow Wes, 100% go check him out. Guy does all kind of stuff. It's great. How chunky you want me to leave this thing, Wes? Like big like the other one, or you want me to get a little bit closer to the size of the lighter? Dealer's choice. All right, man. We'll start it chunky and see how it looks and move from there. Woohoo. Come on, none of that. Hey, Mike, thank you for stopping in, man. I appreciate that. Sorry, I had to tease y'all a little bit. One little flat spot. I think I had a little piece of chip out right about here. All right, y'all ready? Let's see it. I'm not even gonna look. I'm gonna wait until y'all see it too. Hi, Amy. Welcome in. What's that? Oh, it looks like a little resin right there. I'm going to have to get down a little bit deeper. Pretty good, though. Pretty good. Oh, yeah. And once it gets finish on it, it'll go back to being black. So it's blackwood for the main part, and then the I-beam, so the straight across divider, and then the top and bottom pieces are mahogany, and then it's Marcor is the kind of red stripe in the center, and then the two white stripes are white limba. So let's get this shaved down a little bit more. Get down past that resin, and then we'll start putting some shine on this thing. Get it looking real good. Is that a good camera angle for y'all? Let's see Grumpy come back in. Just a little bit more. Excuse me. Ooh, it's still dusty. Yeah, well, it's still got a long way to go till polished, but we're getting there. So let's hit a little side to side action on this, and then we'll start running the bits. Mm-hmm. Sandpaper. I think I've been on for 2 hours now, and I've yet to do my housekeeping. So if you guys are watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, you're enjoying what you're seeing, I'd appreciate it. Hit that like button. Let the algorithm hamster know that you're thinking about it. Do it for the hamster, man. The hamster. Won't somebody please think about the hamsters? That's not my line, that's Wowie's. If y'all don't know Wowie, you should. Yeah, he does all kind of crazy stuff. He's fun to watch. Very creative. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere close to shine. Now, I was going to do this El Natural for you, but I'm afraid when I put the finish on it that it's just going to pull the dust from the black wood over that white limba, and you're going to lose that contrast. So I think we're going to have to put a resin coat on it. So that we can preserve the look of it. Hey, there it is. Wiley's Workshop. Thank you, Suzanne. All right, let's putt for the fun of it. It's still warm on the inside from when I bored it out. So what I did was I tapered it ever so slightly. So it's a little bit wider at the bottom than it is at the top. And then I'll still have to trim it a little to fit because you can see it's a little bit too long, but that's all right. But that's what we're going for, guys. And don't worry, we're still going to resin coat this thing before we end today. But that'll look really nice sitting on a desk. Thank you, sir. I am glad you are pleased with it, since it's yours. That makes me very happy and very relieved. It's one thing to make something for somebody. It's another thing to make something for somebody while they watch. So it's yeah, let me find my resin. Yeah, let's not do that, dude. This is for sure not a leave it in your pocket at the airport type of item. All right, here comes the evil blue light, guys. You just got to get a bigger UV light. Miss April recommended this one to me. I used to use this little dinky LED thing. I just had it out. It was slow. I mean, it worked a little bit. But I had to put them back to the lathe when I would make rings. But I would have to put it right up against the ring for it to work. And then I would have to leave it sitting there for 20 minutes maybe to get it to cure enough. And then still had to take them outside and put them in the sun. She recommended this thing, and I'll be able to wet sand this in a couple minutes. I'll do it on time. 2 hours, 12 minutes, not too bad. While we're waiting on that, I will take the camera over here. I'll bring y'all back. And we'll show Wes what I made earlier. Don't laugh at me for the handle, dude. I messed it up. So I tapered down a little bit too far, trying to get these index marks, which are actually offcuts from your lighter, to be the liner. But it'll be all right. I'll get it heat treated and stuff over the next day or two, and then post some pictures of it when it's done and I get it all polished. Yeah, that's what I did at the beginning of the live. That's what we started off with today. Don't worry, I'll do more. That's the first. The last knife I made was June of 24. So I'm a little bit out of practice, but I'll get back at it. And then I've got I need to get the shelves made for this timbre cabinet for mine, because that's what it's going to live right where all this stuff is, so that I don't have all this stuff on my little workbench. And then I need to get that finished up, because that was a prototype for an actual whiskey cabinet that I have to have built by end of November, I think. Thank you, Wes. It's Purple Heart, the Blackwood, and then I don't know what this stuff is. You know what that is? Whatever this stuff is. It's super light, which threw me off because the balance is a little bit wrong now. It should balance right about there. I guess it does a little bit, but I should be able to stand up on its side and do it. Yeah, I started making knives, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I started blacksmithing about 7 years ago and then kind of got into making knives. And I've made some nice ones. I've done Damascus and I've done some Sanmai and I've done some Copper Mai. I just can't really do any of that stuff on lives because it takes so long. Heat press, and it's boring to watch. It's kind of boring to do. I don't know what anybody would do watching it. It's fun once you get a billet made and you start making a knife out of it. But getting to that point is kind of a pain. Oh no, Miss Francis, I'm sorry. I hope you get some relief. I just realized it's kind of cool looking in there and I see all these members in my chat. You guys are awesome. Those little blue rooms. Ooh, Dan's gonna be furious today, isn't he? He's been busting my chops for almost a year now to fire up the forge or just make a knife or something. And then the one day I make one, he never shows up. Ha 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 ha. All right. Let's take a look at this in all its shiny glory. Boom. Still a little tacky, but I think I can get through that first coat, no problem. Let me find my water. And let's get the crazy shine going. There we go. Something like that. Why did I put these under the lathe? All right. This one's going to be messy, so we'll put a little something, something. All right, I'm going to turn the blue light on just for a minute while I start this wet sand. And we'll take this one all the way up to 12K. And then I'll probably still put it on the buffing wheel. Yep. Bacon and egg sandwich. Now who's flirting with who, man? Come on. All right, raise your hand if you're old enough to have sang that in Edith and Archie's voice. I don't know, man. I might have to double my price. I might want to keep this one. Yeah, I know. No baby backsies. All right, fine. Since you're going to call me on the no takesy backsies. Oh, you know what I can do? Y'all can go to the buffing wheel with me. Still don't have light over here. Well, kind of, but I'm about to unplug it. So, Slink. Ooh, that's hot. Dude. So good. Gonna go over here in the sun to look at it. Oh shoot, y'all can't even see it. It's too bright. Let's do this. I guess y'all could see it. I couldn't see anything. But that's because I was blind. Get by the light. All right, so all that's left now is to that phone so I can see you guys. Wait. All right, so I'll have to a little spot right there to patch up. That's okay. Go through in a little. But that's the first coat of resin, so when you buff it real good, it part of the reason you can see it. So I'll go through and do a second coat before you can get some of these spots covered up. And then once I have that, then I'll get it cut top and bottom to fit the lighter shell a little better. But yeah. Well, thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. Wes, I'm glad you like it. That's the most important one. And I think we're going to call it a day because, I think we did all right. Got a nice little knife made. I'll get this sanded up and cleaned up. Get it heat treated. And then once I get everything finalized, I'll either post a reveal video for it or just throw some pictures up on the community page for you guys. And, but yeah, I thank y'all for hanging out with me today. It's been a pleasure. And, oh no, my ugly mug's almost on the camera. Time to roll, time to roll. Hey, surgeon, what's happening, man? I give you the rundown. We opened up, making this guy. closed off the day by making this guy. Yeah, it's a pretty good couple hours, Wes. What have I been on for? 2 hours and 30? Not bad. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hey, Maria. Sorry you're catching the end of the live, but I appreciate you popping into the chat. I don't have anything planned for the rest of the week. I don't think. I've got an order coming in for a bunch of pens. But they're going to be basic, so I'm not going to turn those for y'all guys to see. But that may take up some of my time, so I may be away for a little bit. But I do have some patterns coming back, and I plan on making a short tutorial series on how I do my inlays with the veneer. Probably 3 parts, maybe 5 minutes a piece. So nothing super crazy, but it'll be in depth enough that anybody out there that's into turning should be able to take it and run with it and be making some pretty cool stuff out of it. So the lighter sales should set me up for the rest of the year. Man, if only. Now, if I was selling it to Dan, it would have. You'd have had a couple of zeros at the end of the price tag just because it's Dan. But he'll watch this later and cuss me for that. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of my plan going forward for the next few days. I'll be working on that set of videos, and then early next week I'll be back with some more pen projects, maybe a bowl or two. And if I could ever get the finalization on this order for the whiskey cabinet, we can start on that, which I guess I'll ask you guys, do y'all want to see that as a long form live series where I just come on for a couple hours and work on it as we go? Or would y'all prefer to see that in short bursts, produced videos? Doesn't matter to me. It doesn't cost me anything to turn the cameras on when I'm working. So you're right, Zan. He was going to cuss anyway. Well, y'all chew on it. We'll see. I got a lot of lumber to cut up, but this is the piece I think I'm going to make the door out of, if y'all want to see it. I think a timbre door out of that grain would just look amazing. And then I'll cut it, take off some of the sapwood, and then maybe frame it in some cherry. So it'll have cherry top and bottom for the slides. And then cut up to work like a timbre so that it's got that nice little crack, 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 crack sound to it. Because, I mean, you just can't get enough of that sound, right? It's just... It's just something so satisfying about it. But, all right, I'm going to quit waffling around over here. And thank you, Grumpy. Wait, did you not hear it? Or do you want to hear it again? Or is it just slow? Hear it again. All right, hold on. Ugh. I mean, if you can hear it, I'll bring the cabinet over here. You can see it too. Still needs finish on it, but it's a shop cabinet, so it's not high on the priority list. All right. Now I'm out. You guys have a blessed week. I will see you next time I have something to share. Take care, everybody. Thank you for hanging out.